Have you been failing to get your first earnings tournament after tournament? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be going over PFlex's first earnings game so that I can show you how to get your first earnings as well. Now let's get right on into it. He starts by landing at Nitrodrome, which is a really good drop now this season, because last season was a pretty mid drop, but it had the medallion, which made people landed it. But now it doesn't have medallion, so no one lands there, so it's pretty uncontested, and you get pretty good loot. So he decides just to loot up and just get stacked for the early game. It does really good metal, so you're able to get max metal just from landing here. It is a really good thing to start your game off with, because metal is so hard to find. Boxing up in a building is a really good strat, because then you can refarm all your mats that you got. And usually it's more concealed, so you don't have to worry about other kids being able to fry you from other places. He then gets a max pull, which isn't the best, because he has to run super far. But he's good, he uses his wood. And he just tries to use sightlines so that he can get out of the way of everyone. And then just get on through. He just get tagged up a bit, but he doesn't let that stop him too much. Comes back in here, refarms a bit. Which is why I said, going in buildings is really nice because there's so much mats around you. And then he pulls half and half, luckily. So now he can just box up in here, and he has stacked first half and half sound. Now this rotate is going to be a little hard for him, because he has to worry about other kids. And he doesn't have an AR to spray with, because he decided to go shotgun only. But he is able to go at just the perfect time, so that no one else is rotating around him. So he's able to just get in. He just tries to go in as deep as he can, before he sees that guy. And then just sits in his box here, just waits for the guy to stop holding him. Since he's in, he can just sit here for the rest of this zone. He gets a fairly good pull for this next zone, because he's right near where zone pulls, but isn't the greatest pull for him. But it's not a good pull for anyone. But he does have a fairly good chance of going. And he just waits. He isn't impatient, which is good, because if you're too impatient, then you might end up going too early. But you often know just the right timing to go. He's able to pause here in metal, which is a really good spot to pause in. Really got tagged up for a bit. And he's on a high layer, which is really good. So you want to keep yourself elevated. Offices, and just goes in. Gets hit really hard here. He has to pause here with armored walls. But he doesn't get pushed too hard, which is good. That's the problem with medkit here. And now he's down to only 2 medkits. So he's gonna need a refresh if he wants to win heal off. Taps fizz, then goes out. He stays elevated, which is a really good thing that you want to try and do, because the ground is way too congested in these tournaments. You want to try and stay elevated as best you can. And he's still looking pretty good mats, because he's had really good rotates, so he hasn't had to use his mats. He did tank a lot of storms, so he has to be popping medkits. Now he's only down to 1. Then makes it in, yes, no. 12 gets taken, so he just runs out. Luckily no one's in front, so he can just get a free rotate in. Now he needs to get up the hill. So he goes in through here. Finds a crazy refresh, which gets him medkits, fizz, heals, all that. Everything that he needs. Then he stays elevated, which is really good. Then he just walks in here. And then armored walls so that he doesn't get keyed. Now it's the final zone. taps Fizz, and then just goes out. Jumps up, and now he's going for height, which is the best position to be in because you don't have to worry about other kids jumping on you when you're on height. He doesn't know this kid's low, but this kid is low, which makes the height take a lot better for him than that kid. He just drops, and he gets height for entirely free. And he still has good enough mats that he can play out the rest of the end game for him. And he sees those medkits down here for heal off. Now he just can sit up here because he has the mats because he had really good rotates throughout the entire end game. There you go. Pops Fizz so you can get back those medkits faster. Still has 25 builds left, so he's easily can hold height for the rest of the zone. Pops it, and then he heads back toward those medkits. As you can see, all these players don't really have that many heals. Yep, this guy wasn't really. And as you can see, this guy only has one medkit left. So he's up here. He's able just to pop his heals. He does get storm sickness. The other players had like no weight, so easily gets the win and gets his first earnings ever. There are three main things that you take away from this video. The first thing is to use buildings to your advantage. You can box on them and you reform your mats, and you can just use them as cover. Next thing is timing. You have to have the right timing, because in this case, the player, he was able to use perfect timing in almost every rotate, so he barely used any mats, so he didn't even need really a refresh at all to finish out the game. The last thing I take from this video is height or high layers. If you're able to stay on a high layer, it's easier to stay alive because you don't have to worry about low ground where everyone's just jumping in boxes, and it makes it easier to take height, which is the freest win in the whole game. With trios coming back, be sure to check out this video to see my thoughts on why I think it's the best competitive game mode.